There is a famous food quote that says, "People who love to eat are always the best people." Well, we happen to totally agree, which is why in this video, we will be counting down the top 10 movies involving food. It turns out these 10 food movie classics were all huge hits at the cinema, so we decided to rank our top 10 by the amount of total box office dollars they took in. Hi, I'm Lewis Nyanya, and welcome to X Best Celeb, your topical movies and celebrity countdown channel. In this countdown, we will definitely have your taste buds tingling, so make sure you stay tuned to the end and discover which food movie makes it to the #1 spot. If you're new here, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. This way you won't miss out on any of our latest countdown videos. Okay then, without further ado, let's jump straight in. We begin our food movie countdown at number 10 with the love story that is Like Water for Chocolate. Set in the early 1900s, this movie for sure has a Shakespearean feel to it. The story begins with the beautiful Tita, who is forbidden to marry her true love Pedro. Why? Because he is already betrothed to Tita's elder sister. Meeting in secret, the two are caught by Tita's mum, and it's safe to say it doesn't go down too well. Her punishment is she's banished to work and cook in the kitchen. At the family's dinner table, Tita's food for her dream lover Pedro makes for a great passion substitute. As her cooking gets more and more sophisticated, so does the levels of lust until Tita and Pedro can resist no more. This film undeniably proves the saying, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
Y'all try my fish cakes? My plate's full.
My plate's full too.
At number 9 is the movie Soul Food. This film in our book, beyond any doubt, is the comfort food classic. Grandma Mama Jo has held her family together for 40 years. She has managed this by meeting her family every Sunday dinner to eat what she describes as her soul food. However, her family's problems begin when diabetes hospitalizes Mama Jo and the Sunday dinners suddenly stop.
It seems like no one's ever gonna speak to each other again.
And what are you gonna say, huh?
Can we talk about
Can we talk about what?
But then Big Mama comes to the rescue.
Tensions among her 3 daughters start to break the family apart, but grandson Ahmed has other ideas.
Soul food cooking is about cooking from the heart.
bless this bread, bless this meat, and bless my stomach cause I was gonna eat.
Ahmed gets Sunday dinners back on, and with Mama Jo's help, things start to change for the better.
Loving you is like food to my soul.
One finger don't make no impact, but you ball up all them fingers into a fist and you can strike a mighty blow.
Mama Jo's culinary magic shows the amazing impact her soul food has on the family, as happiness and love finally find their way back to the family as a result. At number 8, Goodfellas.
In prison, dinner was always a big thing.
One of the most epic mob films ever made, the body count gets pretty high in this Scorsese film, but so does the number of bowls of spaghetti.
Vinny was in charge of the tomato sauce.
In a mob's kitchen, things have to run smoothly. It goes without saying, it's as well organized on the inside as it is on the outside.
Johnny Dio did the meat. We didn't have a broiler, so Johnny did everything in pans. I used to smell up the joint something awful and the hacks used to die, but he still cooked a great steak.
Possibly one of the best dining scenes in any film ever, cutting garlic with razor blades? These Italian-American gangsters can be pretty resourceful in this prison. They want their steaks cooked just right along with the splendid Italian meat sauce and the perfect wine.
Put too many onions in the sauce. I didn't put too much onions in it, Paul. 3 small onions, that's all I did.
And number 7 is the foodie film with the perfect food movie title, Chef. In this film, Carl Casper is a former hotshot chef and is now a divorced workaday cook. Carl spends so much of his time pumping out his boss's high-end but unimaginative menu. As a consequence, he has no time to spend with his son Percy. A key part of this food movie is when a famous restaurant critic is due to visit. Chef Carl yearns to impress by asking to change the menu, but is denied by his boss Reva. Carl leaves the restaurant and decides to try his luck in a mobile food truck. He persuades sous chef Martin to go with him, and together with his son is able to finally follow his imaginative cooking dreams.
I said I want my steak rare.
At number 6 is the film No Reservations, starring Catherine Zeta-Jones, who plays MasterChef Kate.
You out of your mind?
Yeah.
Kate's character is very intense, which we're sure actually helps her be that incredibly talented MasterChef.
My God, this is so good.
However, there's a recipe for disaster coming up. Kate's sister is tragically killed in a freak accident, and Kate ends up being the guardian of her young niece, Zoe.
I have no idea what to do with a kid, especially one who's lost her mother.
Poor Kate just can't seem to get anything right with Zoe, and decides it's time for her to get a helping hand.
I'm Charlotte.
I don't need a babysitter.
Oh, I see you've brought something to read to Zoe.
Rapidly mutating deadly viruses.
I can't get Zoe to eat anything I make.
Now, it's often said the secret ingredient in life is always love, and for MasterChef Kate, it's a very unexpected introduction.
Who do you think you are?
Nicholas Palmer.
You bring a sous chef from an Italian restaurant?
He said he wanted to work with you.
You're on fire.
Chef Nick falls for Kate and uses all his culinary skills to try and win her over. This is where romance eventually blossoms in the face of rivalry.
Why are you so mad at me?
I'm not mad at you.
You're very mad.
This is my kitchen, and I'm not gonna let you take it away from me. This is who I am.
Because of Nick, Kate and Zoe end up solving their differences, and like baking the ultimate cake, it all comes together like food magic.
I know I'm doing everything wrong, but I promise you I'll always be here for you.
At number 5 is Meryl Streep's culinary delight, Julie and Julia.
Something to do.
What is it that you really like to do?
Eat.
And we are so good at it. Look at you. Now, how
growing
good you
in
are.
front of you.
Meryl Streep plays Julia Childs, whose life story is simultaneously told with that of New Yorker Julie Powell. Julia Childs, whilst in France, writes one of the most famous recipe books of all time, Mastering the Art of French Cooking. Meanwhile, back in New York, is frustrated employee Julie Powell, who works in a dead-end job.
I'm not a real cook like Julia Child.
Julia Child wasn't always Julia Child.
It's the 1950s, and Julia Child joins an all-male French cookery.
You should have seen the way those men looked at me.
But then they discovered I was fearless.
Julie reads Julia Child's cookbook and has this crazy idea.
Oh, Julia, you make it sound so simple.
Try and cook all of Julia Child's recipes, like, in 1 year. Julie in New York doesn't exactly take to Julia's recipes like a duck to water.
Yeah, there's all of this stuff on the floor.
Oh, never apologize.
What's for dinner? What's for dinner?
Oh my.
God.
You have no real talent for cooking.
And number 4 is another film set in the food-obsessed country, France. This time simply entitled Chocolat. Yes, that gorgeous food fit for the gods. In this movie, Juliette Binoche, Dame Judi Dench, and that super all-round talented actor Johnny Depp star in this totally sweet-tooth film, Chocolat. So the scene is set. It's the winter of 1959, and the mysterious Vianne, accompanied with her daughter, arrive in the tranquil French town. It turns out no one could have imagined the impact that she and her spirited daughter end up having on this sleepy town.
Would you like to come in for some chocolate?
What about boycott immorality then?
In this particular scene, Vianne has opened up her unusual shop, Chocolat, and she cooks up some particular chocolates well known for their aphrodisiac qualities. After selling to one of the locals, the chocolates end up working so well, it has them eagerly coming back for more.
You have more of those bean thingies, please. How many do you want? How many have you got?
Now that we have you reaching for that huge chocolate bar from the fridge, we kinda knew this movie couldn't fail. After all, we all know chocolate is always the answer. Who cares what the question is? And number 3 is Hannibal.
I'm hungry.
Hannibal the sequel is set a decade after the events of Silence of the Lambs. Krenler gets drugged and seated at a smart fancy table and gets fed his own brains?
You see, the brain itself feels no pain, Clarice, if that concerns you.
And now Hannibal starts his queasy dinner party prep.
Here. Now here's the sack that contains the brain.
Krenler's brains get fried in a little garlic with olives. It's kinda stomach churning. We're glad it's only Agent Starling who is over for dinner.
That smells great.
Yeah. Let's try them, please.
I would really like some.
Clarice holds it together and manages not to throw as Credenler is fed his own brains by Lecter. We think it's absolutely a dinner party she will never forget.
Just think about what I said, Clarice.
This holiday smells like burnt rubber.
At number 2 is Robin Williams in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, damn!
In this food movie classic, the disguised Scottish housekeeper ends up creating mayhem in the kitchen. Cooking the first meal as the new nanny, it doesn't quite go to plan. In this scene, when it comes to the final taste test, the heat is most definitely turned up too high and it's time for some drastic action. And the winner is one of Pixar's best, Ratatouille. This film smashed box office records by taking an incredible $621 million. The film's famous for its ingenious play on the title, as the movie stars Remy the Rat. Now Remy may be a rat, but he is also a brilliant chef, and dreams of becoming as good as his chef idol, the late Gusteau. In this scene, Remy attempts to help the restaurant's garbage boy, Linguini, who accidentally ruined his boss Skinner's soup. Although Remy gets caught, the soup is so good it saves Linguini from getting fired. Eventually, Linguini attempts to come clean with co-chef Colette about Remy making his food. But Remy doesn't want the secret to get out, and so cleverly foils the plan by a little pull of hair here and there. Remy's hair pulling causes Linguini to trip, and with a stroke of luck Linguini ends up kissing Colette. This then paves the way to secure Remy's future in the kitchen. And that, folks, brings us to the end of this top 10 food movies countdown. Were there any surprises in this list for you? Did you feel there should have been some other food movies in this countdown? If so, let us know in the comments below. We would love to know what you think. Be sure to check out our other latest countdown videos, the Oscars 2021 Best Picture predictions, and celebrities doing ASMR. We have put links for each of those in the description down below. That's it for now. It's adios from me, ex-best celebs Luis Nyano. Till next time. Don't forget to hit the subscribe. Don't forget to hit ex-best celeb. Sorry.
It's alright.
Ex-best celeb subscribe.
That's gonna be a definite blooper.